Hey everybody, Grayson here from Profit. We're going to talk a bit about Sword and Shield Era booster boxes today. Back half of the video, I want to touch on Ascended Heroes and Prismatic Evolutions. Now, in terms of the booster boxes, not an exciting week, and Sword and Shield in general right now, really not in the best of place. And you're going to see that when we look at supply and demand for some of these more popular sets from the Sword and Shield era. But we'll start off, as always, with Sword and Shield base, go in order. Really not too much to say here. You know, the box is growing in price, which I guess if you own some of these is great. Not growing at a crazy rate though. When you look at supply, there's a ton on the market around Christmas last year. Made sense. That's when most of the market in general was kind of taking a little bit of a hit. But we're starting to see over the past month more Sword and Shield base boxes coming to market. And if we get rid of signals and we get rid of supply, you're going to see the trend not really that great for Sword and Shield base. And that's going to be something that repeats when we look at a bunch of other boxes. Same thing with Rebel Clash. Price here has actually been quite flat over the past 5 months, I'd say at this point. If we look at supply and demand, it's not looking that great. There was hardly any boxes of Rebel on the market back in the summer of last year, heading into the fall, and you had multiple boxes selling on a weekly basis. But nowadays, a lot more Rebel on the market. And granted, a lot of this is only coming from one or two sellers that still have a decent amount of boxes. But I think this is a prime example of how sometimes the narrative towards a certain set is that it's very scarce. There's hardly anything out there. But at the same time, there might be just a couple sellers who have a lot of supply. They just don't want to list their boxes. And when they do decide to list their boxes, well, that narrative kind of flips, and now we're stuck with a box where there's a lot of supply out there for how much is actually moving on a weekly basis. Rebel as a whole, though, not really something that I'm too worried about. I'm pretty sure most of you guys, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you probably don't own Rebel Clash, or if you do, you probably have fairly small positions in it. Darkness, neutral signal, 3 out of 10 though, which I mean, definitely a little bit better than Rebel and Sword and Shield base. You can see over the past couple months, we've actually seen decent growth on the box, and you're starting to see supply. This is interesting. So we're starting to see supply drop off. Granted, there's still a decent amount of boxes out there, but nowhere near where we were around December, January, 6 months ago at this point. And the exciting thing too, if we get rid of signals and supply, demand's been fairly consistent on a set like Darkness Ablaze, which is impressive considering the box has gone from around $250 up to where it is now, around $350. And I know that we bash Darkness Ablaze a lot on this channel. There really isn't anything too interesting in this set. Sure, the Charizard's now $55. I guess that's something. You have a couple rainbow cards over $10, but overall, no value in here. That said, people are still buying this box, and I wouldn't be surprised if at some point this year, this is a $400 to maybe even like $450 booster box. Now, after Darkness, we have Vivid Voltage, and this is actually a neutral signal 0 right now. And the interesting thing about Vivid, right, and this is why I always preach, you got to look at what's happening on eBay and a lot of these other markets. On TCG Player, because we do pull market price from TCG Player, you guys know that, it's running like crazy. I mean, this box a couple weeks ago was sub $300. Vivid's now pushing $330 on TCG Player. At the same time, we're seeing more supply come to market on eBay, and sales volume's been relatively consistent. I mean, maybe it's dropping off a little bit over the past month. So you could make the argument less people are buying Vivid and there's more boxes on the market. However, the price is still going up. So I can't see this continuing to run. But if there's only a couple listings on TCG Player and someone's very motivated, they could just continue buying those boxes in the hopes that it is going to affect enough sellers on eBay to change their price, or maybe motivate other buyers to start picking up the boxes on eBay that are still in the $275, $280-ish range. I don't think there's anything I want to talk about in terms of the cards in Vivid. We went over this I want to say last week or something, looking at the Pikachu being a $200 card. So I think we'll avoid that for now. Hopping over to battle styles, again, a neutral signal. Long-term score is also very low, only a 1 out of 10. You guys know, not really a huge fan of battle styles. If you own some, great, maybe hold a little bit, but I wouldn't want this to be a large position for me. And we're going to see a very similar trend with the supply and demand on eBay. A lot more boxes coming to market over the past couple months, and sales volume might actually be dropping off a little bit. I mean, every week we're looking at somewhere between 10 and 15 boxes, maybe a good week over 3 per day, but generally we're in that like 1.5 to 2.5 range on battle styles. Just not something that I'd be super thrilled about having a lot of. Same thing with Chilling Reign. You can see here over the past, 3 months at this point, box has been flat. And when we go look at supply and demand, a lot more boxes coming to market. And it seems like it's continuing to grow week over week. Sales volume is starting to go up a little bit, but we're talking about maybe 2 boxes per week, or per day, excuse me, when we do a weekly update. And that's nowhere near where we were back in the summer of last year. Even something like Chilling was 2.5 to 3 normally. The unfortunate reality for something like Chilling is, I think, the conversation that's been had this year, and I've definitely contributed to this a little bit, is that some of these older Sword and Shield era sets, people just don't want them as much. They're not that fun to open. Even the chase cards in them aren't like crazy expensive in PSA 10s. So people are looking at the SV era as a much better investment, whether it's Paldea Evolved, Destined Rivals, Black Bolt, White Flare, Paldean Fates, Prismatic, you name it. And people are starting to move some of their Chilling Reign. So I think it's going to be a while before a lot of these Sword and Shield era sets have their time in the sun again. I mean, could be a year, could be 2 years. Maybe it's shorter than that. Maybe I'm freaking people out putting out that type of timeline, but it's not something that I'm super bullish about. That said, I mean, these are investments. I can't really imagine they're going to drop much either, right? We're going to stay in a range. But if you're looking for the top returns on all your Pokemon investments, it's probably not going to be in Chilling Reign or any of these other Sword and Shield era boxes this year, and definitely not this quarter. But moving on, Evolving Skies, 27.15, almost 19x MSRP at this point. Kind of crazy. Box is slowly moving up in price, but it's the same story that we've been seeing with Chilling, Battle Styles, Vivid Voltage. More boxes coming to market and sales volume actually dropping off a little bit. I mean, we're still around 2 per day, which isn't terrible for a almost $3,000 box, but nowhere near the summer of last year where there were 5 to 6 boxes selling per day. And there was one thing I wanted to bring up in regards to Evolving Skies. If we look at the top 100 cards here, the Rayquaza, which is number 13 right now, it's a rainbow rare, 115 bucks. The Umbreon behind it at $75. If we hop over to TCG Player, I just want to show you guys these cards. If you bear with me for a moment, the Rayquaza, I mean, it's up 66% in the past 3 months. The Umbreon, not as much, but if we go to near mint here, still up 25%, going from $60 up to around $75. So some of these rainbow rares of more popular Pokemon definitely starting to move a little bit. The Gyarados as well, the Sylveon, those are $50 to $60 cards. And I kind of want to go through the rest of these fairly quickly because it's basically the same story for everything from Fusion Strike to Silver Tempest. A little bit more supply on the market. Granted, for Fusion, it is actually coming down. Sales volume fairly consistent, but I mean, this is reminiscent of June of last year, and then obviously towards Christmas, there's a lot more supply out there. Brilliant Stars, now a $620 box, so I guess that's something you can take away. I love it. You guys know I have heavy bags in Brilliant, but more supply out there, and sales volume is starting to drop off a little bit. We're looking at maybe 2 units per day. The most recent update, only 11 units in a 7-day period. That's actually less than 2 per day. I guess one win we can give to Brilliant though is now the top 10 values over $1,000. For a very long period of time, it was around, I think, 600 bucks, but you're starting to see the Umbreon move back up around $110 now. The Charizard's moved up a little bit, but it really is the Sylveon V, the Rainbow Charizard V-Star, the other Mimikyu cards in the set, the Umbreon V, a lot of these trainer galleries growing in value just a little bit there. So that's good to see, I guess, if you own Brilliant. Astral, 2 out of 10 long-term score. I think buy signal, yeah, 1 out of 10 right now. Really not too great. A lot of supply out there. Sales volume is starting to move up a little bit for Astral, especially when this was around, what, $370 there for a minute. People maybe thought that was a little bit undervalued. Lost Origin sitting around $806. It's definitely rebounded nicely from that 770 range, but still a decent amount of supply out there. Sales volume dropping, and then finally Silver Tempest. When we look at this, maybe sales volume coming down a little bit, but also the supply coming down. So all these sets, pretty much the same story right now. I don't think that Sword and Shield's going to go crazy anytime soon. I still like these as long-term holds, especially the stronger sets of the era, your Lost Origin, your Fusion Strike. Maybe you want to hold a little bit of Evolving, but it's objectively true that the SV era, slabs in general, have outperformed sealed Sword and Shield product. And the final thing I want to get to in this video, we all know Ascended Heroes is a great set, but the ETBs are starting to flatten out around $175, $180. It's still a great product. I think long term, you're going to do very well in your Ascended Heroes ETBs, but the packs, the loose packs are something I want to highlight because they're up 37% over the past 3 months, and over the past month, up 24%. And a lot of that coming over the past couple days. There's been a buyout on TCG Player. Someone bought 1,352 packs yesterday of Ascended, and someone did a fairly similar thing with Prismatic. You can see over the past 3 months. By the way, these were $10 packs in the middle of March, which is kind of insane. And back in December, sub $9 a pack for Prismatic Evolutions. We're getting close to 20 bucks a pack now, guys. And someone bought 1,192 packs of Prismatic yesterday. So long term, both amazing sets. I did just want to highlight those buyouts on TCG Player. But that's going to be it for this video. You guys let me know in the comments section down below what you think. I hope you're having a great week. Stay safe wherever you are in the world. And I'll catch you in the next one.